Dream big dreams. Only big dreams have the power to move men's souls. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said that. Hello, this is Vic Johnson with another reason that goals fail. It's a plain, simple fact. Most goals fail because the goal isn't worthwhile enough. It doesn't mean enough to risk the extra effort that's almost always involved in achieving a goal. Now stop and think about it. If your annual income is, say, $10,000 a month, that's a six-figure annual income, and you set a goal to increase your income by, say, $200 a month, is that going to be a lot of motivation for you? You know, if you're making $25,000 a year, maybe $200 a month, that's 10%. That's a little bit of motivation, still not a lot of motivation. But what about if you double the amount of money that you're making? Say, if you're making $50,000 now, your goal for next year is $100,000, or if you're making $100,000, $200,000, or $500,000, $1 million. Now, wouldn't that get you excited? Wouldn't that create some desire? Napoleon Hill, writing in the classic book Think and Grow Rich, devoted an entire chapter to the subject of desire. He says desire is the beginning of all achievement, and he defines it as white-hot desire. Now, in modern times, we don't relate to that word, that adjective, white-hot, a lot. But back in those days, remember in the 1930s, there were a lot of people employed in manufacturing. And they were in plants with these huge furnaces that reached phenomenal temperatures. And you could see a white-hot fire is an extremely hot fire, and that's what he was trying to convey. You've got to not only have desire, you've got to have a white-hot desire. Hill quoted Thomas Edison in the book about the power of strong desire. Edison said, when a person really desires something so deeply that he's willing to stake his entire future on a single turn of the wheel in order to get it, he's sure to win. Now that's a white-hot desire. That's really desiring something. You know, one of my greatest stories of desire is the story of Maxie Filer. Maxie Filer took the California bar exam for the first time when he was 36 years old, and he failed. He took it again, and he failed. And again, and again, and again. And each time Maxie took it, he failed. He took the bar exam in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, San Francisco. In fact, he took the bar exam in every city in California that they offered it, and he failed. He took the bar exam when his children were young and still at home. And then when his own children grew up, two of his sons went to law school. Maxie took it again, and he failed. One of his sons opened a law office, and Maxie went to work for him as a clerk. Took it again, and he failed. At an age when most people are thinking about retiring, Maxie Filer is still taking the California bar. After 25 years, more than $50,000 spent in testing fees, more than 144 days of his life spent in testing rooms. Maxie Filer took the California bar exam for the 48th time, and he passed and became a practicing attorney in California. In fact, was recognized on a number of occasions by the California bar. Now stop and think about, that's a phenomenal story, by the way, for persistence. It's a great story that appears in Cynthia Kersey's book, Unstoppable. But what fired that persistence, what made that persistence so strong was his desire. It was his goal. It was his dream to be an attorney. That was so big to Maxie that it wouldn't let him quit. And that's the power of having a big goal or a big dream. If you have a problem dreaming big, it's time to stop right now and take a look about where that problem came from. When did it begin? Maybe you had some disappointments or setbacks in your past and you just simply don't want to get your hopes up again. I know the feeling. Maybe you grew up without a lot of material things, and maybe it was just too painful to think about not having them, so you never thought bigger. You never thought outside of what you had. I know that feeling too. But I also know that the day that we were evicted from our home in 1996, my dream and my desire was still very much alive. I remember walking out of that courthouse when the judge had ordered us out, given us 48 hours, getting in my car, and I could see the dream in my mind's eye. That's what kept me alive. It's what kept me going. If I hadn't had that, I don't know what would have happened. I just had to believe that it was going to happen, and obviously over time it did. Whatever the reason that's caused you not to dream big, you've got to identify the negative programming behind that and change it. It's getting in the way of living the life you want to live. It may be the one obstacle that you have. You know, when I see people that lack persistence, I generally say there's two things to cure it. One of them is a lack of desire or a lack of belief. You know, if you just don't have a desire, a real desire for the goal, again, it's got to be something big. You want to learn how to set goals that take your breath away. You know, that give you that funny little feeling in the pit of your stomach. If you don't feel a little uncomfortable when you choose the goal, then it's probably not big enough. It's certainly not going to be big like Maxie's was to keep you going. It's not going to be enough when obstacles come to make you persist. It's probably not going to create that white-hot type of desire that Napoleon Hill was talking about. One of the great exercises that you can do is one that Mark Victor Hansen teaches, and I really love this. Pretend you're a kid again, without any limits or few limits. You know, most kids, you ask them what they want, they don't have any limits. Now take a pad of paper with that attitude. Go find a quiet place. Put some relaxing music on. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Now, in those 20 minutes, write down 101 goals, 101 dreams, things you like to have or do. But don't think about whether you can accomplish it or not. Don't pre-qualify the goal. Don't judge it. Don't think, well, no, that's the timing's. Don't worry about it. Whatever comes to mind, whatever goal comes to mind, put it on the paper. Remember, you've only got 20 minutes. Do it in 20 minutes. You'll get caught up in it. Ask yourself the question, what do I want to do? What do I want to have? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to live? How many homes do I want to have? What contributions do I want to make? What do I want to learn? From whom? Where? Who do I want to spend my time with? How much do I want to earn, save, and invest? What's my ideal net worth? What will I do for fun and optimum health? This exercise can rekindle that fire, that white-hot desire. It can put it back out in front of you. You know what I find working with most of the people in the Champions Club in the very beginning and many of the other programs that we work with people on, the dreams are still there. People have just shoveled so much stuff on top of them over the years. They're a ways away. You got to dig all that stuff off again and get down to them. And when you do, I find our champions get really, really excited about what the future holds for them. And the same will happen with you. After you've built that list, cherish those goals, honor those goals, maybe transfer them to a nice journal. I have a beautiful leather Jim Rohn journal. You know, next to my family and my relationships, that's the most important thing in my life because that's where I keep my dreams and keep my goals. Be on the lookout for new things to do, new dreams. Lisa and I bought the book, 1,000 Places to Visit Before You Die. It's a wonderful book. We check off the places that we go. We go and look in the book and see the things that we ought to see, and we'll make a point to go see those. We've had some really interesting experiences, going the wrong way in Naples, Italy, and many, many other ones. But you know what? It kindles that fire. It kindles that dream. Finally, never forget James Allen's instruction in As a Man Thinketh. Boy, did this change my life. I am living this, folks, and you can too. James Allen reminds us, dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. That's it for this episode. We'll be back again soon with another of the 11 reasons that goals fail. This is Vic Johnson, and thank you.